What's going on YouTube? It's your boy David from NBA Knowledge, and today we are going to talk about some free agents and where they're going to be headed to go in the 2021 NBA season. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and push the bell for post notifications. Without further ado, let's talk about the first free agent, and that is going to be Anthony Davis. Now, for those who do not know, AD is from Chicago, and he's made it publicly known that he would love to play for them one day. But considering that they just won a championship, Anthony Davis finished second in Defensive Player of the Year, as well as made an All-NBA team and All-Defensive team, I'd say that he's set where he is. Because considering that he wanted to be traded to the Lakers and they won a championship, they accomplished everything they wanted to accomplish, and they put him at the power forward position. I mean, it's very obvious that they gave him everything that he's wanted in LA, and now he's even got the accolades to back up his legacy. So I don't see him leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. I see him signing a huge deal with them in this upcoming offseason. The next player that we have is Fred VanVleet. And to be quite honest with you, VanVleet had a pretty rocky postseason, but considering his skill set, and he's still a relatively solid defensive guard with the ability to space the floor and play make and score, overall at a really solid level, I expect teams to throw him contracts. And to be quite honest with you, he might be the hardest to gauge among the players on this list in free agency, because it really depends on if the Raptors are willing to match offers from other teams. Because where I think he's going to go is the Knicks, because the Knicks, they're going to try to swing on a lot of players this upcoming offseason, but I think the one that they're going to get is going to be Fred VanVleet, because they always feel like getting the top guys, and then they get the second tiers like the Julius Randles, the Bobby Portises, and Fred VanVleet fits that description in my opinion. So why not sign Fred VanVleet to a huge max contract in typical Knicks fashion? And to be fair, I really don't know if they're going to throw him a max, but they're probably going to overpay him. And it really just comes down to, like I said earlier, if the Raptors want to match that offer. And to be quite frank, because I know the New York Knicks are prone to just throw people money for no reason, then it's going to be pretty obvious the Raptors are not going to match the money that they throw him. So I think he's going to go to the Knicks in free agency. But moving on to the next player that we have on this list, we got Andre Drummond. Now, to be quite honest with you, Andre Drummond is easily one of the biggest question marks of this, because he does have an option, but considering the fact that he's in Cleveland, then yeah, it becomes very understandable why he wouldn't take the money that's being offered. I believe it's almost $28 million. That is insane. Andre Drummond is way overpaid, and to be quite honest with you, the Cavs, I still don't know why they traded for him, and Drummond has made it very vocal that he wasn't happy about that trade. So if that's the case, it really just falls on his shoulders if he's going to opt in or opt out. Now, if he chooses to opt out, I do see a few scenarios where he could end up, such as Golden State or Boston, because those two teams need a big man to really put them over the top into that upper echelon of great teams in the league. But I think more than likely he's probably going to stay in Cleveland, because that money, man, I can never hate when a player chases it, because the bag should be a #1 priority of any top tier athlete. You gotta secure your finances, and I understand it if he wants to make that decision, because not only is his value so low that he's far overpaid and he's never going to make that kind of money again, but his value is only going to get worse, because in the case of Andre Drummond, he can't space the floor, his defense is fairly inconsistent, and he doesn't even try, to be quite frank with you, and he still doesn't have the ability to knock down free throws consistently. So as far as Andre Drummond's game goes, yeah, there are definitely some benefits on the boards, but it's just not that impactful, considering that rebounds are not a major factor in the game today. So where do I think he's going to end up? I think he's going to end up staying right where he is in Cleveland and accept that player option for $28 million. The next player that we have is Danilo Gallinari. And to be quite fair, Gallinari has been one of the better scorers in the league for a good handful of years. Honestly, essentially his entire career, Gallinari's always been a really solid scorer, can score in the post, mid-range, and from behind the arc, as well as get to the free throw line and knock those down consistently. The only issues really with his game are his efforts on the defensive end, but he is coming off of a season in which he did average 19 points and 5 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field and 40% from behind the arc on over 7 attempts a game. So there's definitely value in having a guy like him on your roster. And I think that personally, he could go to a team like the Philadelphia 76ers. I think the Sixers need that kind of spacing. Now, how are they going to make it work? Obviously, trades need to be made. You need to clear out some cap. But I think the best scenario for him would be the Philadelphia 76ers. More of a realistic scenario, I would probably say a team like the Sacramento Kings, because they've been looking for a big man and a power forward that they can put on that team to pair with Marvin Bagley, because if I'm not mistaken, they wanted to get Al Horford in the offseason, but obviously that didn't work out. He went to Philly, so why not get Gallinari, who's way better, can space the floor. Sure, he's not going to give you the defensive effort that Horford would have given you, but all of the things he does offensively completely outweigh that, especially considering that Horford is washed. But moving on to the next and final player that we have, it is Demar Derozan, a guy taken straight out of the 90s and put in the league. It's impossible to read this dude's actual market as he enters his prime with the game ill-suited for modern basketball. And to be fair, Derozan didn't ask for this because Toronto traded him without even letting him know. But considering that you can't space the floor, you're not like an elite playmaker, you're all right, but you're not an elite one. And defensively, you're damn near a liability. I hate to say it, but I think the best role for him is to start coming off of the bench, to be a sixth man. If Eric Gordon could make that transition, why can't Demar Derozan? Sure, Eric Gordon wasn't an All-NBA player or an All-Star even, but it was very obvious that he needed to make that transition to preserve his career. Other players have made it, and Demar Derozan, I think if he wants to have value in the league and at least be looked at in some type of winning light, then obviously he's going to have to not only take a step back in his game and possibly come off of the bench. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of great players have made that transition, and Demar Derozan, it's not like he's Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade even made that transition ironically. So as far as I'm concerned, Derozan, your defense isn't going to get much better. Your playmaking isn't going to get much better. We all know defensively, he's essentially going to be trash for the rest of his career, and it's probably going to get worse as he ages. So that's another negative on him. So with all of that being said, what more is there left for him to do? He's already made some all-star teams and all-NBAs. He doesn't even have a championship, doesn't even have a finals appearance. And in this Western Conference, the Spurs don't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. So I think the Spurs would gladly part ways with Demar Derozan. I don't even see them offering him an extension or another contract. I think they'll live without him. So as far as DeMar DeRozan, where he's going to end up though, I think he's going to go to a team like Orlando, because despite me saying that he should come off the bench, more than likely he's not going to do so. I mean, he's a 20-point per game scorer, and you know the confidence that players have when they can do stuff like that. So I expect him to go to a team like Orlando, who desperately need a bucket getter, especially at the guard position. But that concludes this video, you guys. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. Where do you think these guys are going to end up in the offseason, as well as some other free agents? I know I didn't get to all of them, but I can't make a 30-minute video. If you enjoyed it though, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, as well as push the bell for post notifications. This is your boy David from NBA Knowledge. Y'all stay safe, wash your hands, and please wear a mask. I'm out. Peace.